number one is definitely preparing your stamper. When I first started out, I bought everything I needed: the stamping plate, the stamping polish, the squishy stamper and scraper, and I just assumed that it would be as easy to do as people made it look, you know, in their videos. But it really wasn't like that for me. It took a lot of failed attempts and searching through videos to realise that my issue was my stamper. You know, never assume that you can just take it out of the box and it'll work perfectly, because 9 times out of 10 it just doesn't. But, you know, luckily preparing your stamper is really easy, and all you need is a nail file, some cotton pads and some acetone or rubbing alcohol, and just the right filing method, really. Now when you first get your stamper, you'll notice it's like really shiny. I don't know if you can see, but like the edge around here is like a really shiny, really smooth. But trust me, that's not what you want it to be. What you want to do is like gently file off the shiny surface on the top until it's kind of matte, and that's the best way to pick up all your images. So what you want to do is you want to take your nail file and place it in the middle of the stamper, like rest it on the top, and then carefully drag it towards the edge. And then when you're doing this, you just want to move your stamper around, keep turning like this. Every now and again you just want to look at it, just check, see if there's any pieces that you've missed. If you see any sort of like excess bits of rubber, just go in with your file and just do this, and then just scrape them off. Keep going until you're really happy that you've taken off all the shiny bits, until you're left and it looks like this. Next thing you want to do, get your cotton pad, cover it in acetone, clean it off, and then you'll have the perfect surface for your stamper. Of course, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to test it. Get out your stamping plate, try it out. If you're picking up images and your images are still a little bit patchy, just go back in with your nail file, keep filing it away until you've got the perfect surface on your stamper to pick up all your images. Hack number 2 is your pickup techniques. You know, this is again an issue I came across so many times when I first started out, and definitely something I didn't really pay attention to when watching other people's videos. I just kind of thought there was like one method to picking it up, which was, you know, just to push it on and lift it and then it would reveal the image. You know, it wasn't until I started buying different brands of plates that I really sort of started to notice that you know, you can't always use the same technique to pick up an image. You know, I kind of stubbornly believed that it was, you know, just poor quality plates and it wasn't anything to do with me or what I was doing, you know, but after a while I realised that, you know, you need to change your movements with your stamper to pick up sort of images on different brands of plates. So I'm going to show you those techniques now. I use is the one I always use with my MoYou London stamping plates. So you literally just apply your polish. So scrape it off, and then with your stamper just push firmly down, lift it up, and you reveal your really lovely image. Done, nice and simple. Second technique I had to learn was to roll the stamper. This is a technique I have to use with my CC and Sissy plates and my Born Pretty Store plates, because I was finding that trying to use the same method and just pushing them down, I was struggling to pick up bits of the image. They were a little bit patchy and they just weren't as clear as I wanted them to be. So this second technique I had to learn was to roll it. So same steps as before, apply your polish, so scrape off the excess, and then with your stamper roll it onto the image like that, and then that picks up your really lovely clear image as well. Other issues I found with my technique when I was a beginner was like not enough polish to sort of fill the image. So I'd kind of want like this whole corner section, and I just sort of like put on a little bit, you know, and then scrape it off, and then you sort of go to pick it up, and then you realise that, you know, it's a bit streaky, like one side's really faded and not enough, and, you know, it took me a while to realise like how much polish I needed to put on. I think nowadays I probably put too much polish on, but I would rather put on too much and get a really clear image than not put on enough and sort of have to throw it away and try again. So that's another technique. Always make sure that you're using enough polish to clear, to cover the whole image that you want. Last technique I wanted to go over about, you know, like pickup techniques is like over scraping. or like using too much pressure when you're trying to remove the excess polish from the plate. You know, I found that, you know, sometimes I would sort of put the polish on, I'd go over it like 3 or 4 times, and then I'd sort of pick up the image, and it would be, you know, again, like with the other things, like patchy, not all there, a bit random, so, you know, you wipe it off, and then you do the same thing again, scrape it over a few times, because you could sort of see, you know, on the shiny bits of the plate, like smudges of polish. And at first I kind of just assumed that if I was to put my stamper on, that it would pick up like the smudges as well as the bits that were sort of in the grooves of the plate. But that really isn't true. Genuinely, as you've seen me do before, like, all you really need to do is one sweep. It doesn't have to have that much pressure. Don't worry if you can see like smudges like this bit here, because when you push on and lift it up, you will not get any of those smudges. You are, you know, they're so good that it literally just picks up the stuff that's in the grooves. So don't worry about it. Just put on your blob of polish, nice gentle pressure, don't push too firmly, one scrape, push on with your stamper, and you'll get a really nice clear image. So hack number 3 is filling in your images. The best way to do this is definitely with dotting tools. They are super cheap to buy and come in different sizes to help you fill in like the large and the small details. And really the trick with filling in is all about the pressure. So when you're taking your dotting tool and you're filling in your image, you know, you're just going to fill it in and you start doing this. But if you push too hard, you're going to start to like lift off the image that's underneath, or like you press on there and can you see how like you've created a white spot? So you lift it and it removes the thing, and then of course if you try and carry on, you just end up smudging, you know, just smudging it around, and it looks, you know, really terrible. The best way to do it, I find, is to just barely press a tool. You don't really want to let the dotting tool even touch the stamper. All you're doing is just letting the polish fall onto the image and then just moving it around. That way you don't pick up any of the black lines and you're not going to ruin the image underneath, because, you know, you can get all the way to the end of filling in a decal and then literally end up like, oh, splurp, ruined it, picking up a random bit of image over here, that just ruins it. So the trick with filling in really is all to do with pressure. Just put it on, barely touch it, just drag the soft polish over the image like this, and then you'll fill in the whole thing and you won't ruin any of your lines. So hack number 4 is all about patience. You know, please note that nail stamping is a really, really long process, and at first it really will take you a few hours, you know, to do that perfect nail art manicure, or to do that manicure that you're actually, you know, really happy with. You know, nail art videos, mine included, you know, make it seem so quick, you know, and easy, but there is so much waiting involved, you know, between each step, you know, applying your polish and decals and allowing different parts of your decal to dry and allowing the top coat to dry, and, you know, there's lots and lots of steps involved that, you know, do require you to wait, you know, and trust me when I say that trying to skip these stages really will never be beneficial. You know, it will always end up in ruining your decals and, you know, ruin your nails, and trust me, you don't want to put in all of that effort and then realise that you've ruined it all because you've just tried to do it too quickly. The trick really is all to do with patience. Hack I can tell you about, you know, patience and making it, you know, go quicker and really, you know, bringing down the time it takes in which you create your videos or your manicures, is to plan ahead. You know, like, I find the best thing is to, you know, choose the image that you want to use, you know, come up with color schemes, or, you know, even if you're going to use something that goes with an outfit, you know, like matching your polishes to your outfit first, you know, and really making sure that you're happy with the image that you're using, you know, the colors that you're using, even test it first, you know, because I've done it before and I still do it now, and I'll pick an image, come up with the colors, do it, fill it all in, put it on my nails, and then I'll literally get to the end, you know, put my top coat on, and I'll go, oh, I don't really like it. And that's happened so many times, and you think to yourself, well, what do I do? Do I take it all off and start all over again, or do I just kind of deal with it and live with it? But, you know, me and my nails, I'm a real perfectionist. You know, if I'm not happy with them, I almost feel like other people aren't going to be happy with them, so most of the time I'll take it off. So definitely the first thing I'd suggest doing was pick an image, choose your colour scheme, test it out, make sure you're super happy with it, and then start your manicure. Next thing to cut down on sort of like time and your patience is to sort of figure out which nails it is that you want to paint. You know, which ones that you want your, you know, your stamping images to be on. At first, I literally just started off with sort of one accent nail. So what you want to do before you've started, you know, anything, you know, before you start any decals or anything like that, you're going to want to paint your nails. So you want to do, you know, so if I was using my green and blue, like I showed you before, you know, I'd paint, you know, my baby nail, I'd paint my middle finger, I'd paint my pointer finger, and then you'd obviously paint your ring finger white, because it's always best to put your decal over a white polish. So paint your nails, do 2 coats. Obviously you don't need to apply top coat yet, you can leave that, but paint all your nails and then give them time to dry. You know, put the telly on, watch a bit of film, and then start your decals when your nails are completely dry. That way when you get to the end and everything's finished, you literally just apply your top coat. If you sort of start your decals and then paint your nails, you'll find that sometimes you might like go to apply it and your nails aren't quite dry, and then you smudge it and then you ruin it all, you know. And that's another big thing that used to happen to me all the time. It's just being impatient. Like I always just wanted to get it done, and I was so excited about getting it done that I was like, oh, that'll do, and I'll just peel it off and put it on, and then I'd be like, oh no, and I'd ruin it, and then I'd be and then I'd have to start all over again. And you know, that's why at first it always seems to take forever, because you're just trying to get it done so quickly. But until you realize that, you know, waiting and patience is key, you know, you'll be so much happier in the end because you'll come out with the best results. My last time hack is literally about letting your decals dry. So once you've picked up your image with your stamping, with your stamper, you can literally immediately start filling it in. The stamping polish isn't too affected by sort of like drying time on the stamper. So, you know, pick it up with your stamper, fill it in, and then once you sort of got to this stage where you've filled in all the pieces that you want to fill in, you need to let it dry. You know, I'm not talking like 2 minutes, I'm talking like 10 minutes. Normally because, you know, you just don't want to smudge the polish that's on there. So just do it, leave it to one side, let it dry, and come back in 10 minutes. Now that 10 minutes has passed and it's well and truly touch dry, now you can go in and apply your top coat. Put it on, smudge it over the top, make sure you've got all of the edges. You want to go over all of the edges because it doesn't matter if they're messy. You can trim those off later. Cover it completely in top coat, and again, leave it to dry, and leave it to dry for like 20 minutes minimum before removing it from the stamper, because if you're peeling them off too soon, it's going to give you like a really soft decal that's like super tricky to apply, and you guessed it, it will probably end up ruining your manicure. So put it down, leave it 20 to 30 minutes, and then come back to it and you'll be done. So that's it, and that's the end of the patience. So hack number 5 is top coat application. You know, you've mastered all the other steps, you've prepped your stamper, you've mastered your pickup technique, you know, you've carefully filled in your images and you've waited really patiently for it to dry before applying it to your nail, you know, and it looks perfect. You know, and the amount of times I've done that, and then, you know, I take out my top coat and I put it on and I've smudged it. And I really can't tell you how many times I did this. And, you know, I just thought, that's it, I've had enough. I can't do it, and I'd get all stressed out and I'd take it off, you know. But after calming down, I realised, you know, once again, it was, you know, me. It was me. It was my fault, you know, it was, and it's a really simple fix as well, like a really simple fix. You know, the first thing is the top coat that you use. Now this one, Rimmel London's, you know, Finishing Touch 3D Pumping Top Coat, I will not use anything else other than this. I just won't. You know, I've been through so many different types of top coats, so many brands, really expensive brands, cheap brands, you know, even Conrad's own top coat, trying to find one that doesn't smudge the image. And most top coats do. Most top coats will smudge, you know, and this one will if you push hard. But I cannot tell you how brilliant this top coat is. You know, I won't use anything else. It leaves hardly any streaks at all. If it does pull a streak, it's usually my fault and nothing to do with this. Definitely the best one. I can't recommend it enough. The second thing to do is when you apply your top coat, do not let any of the bristles of your brush touch your nail. You know, I'll show you how to do this. And I'll show you take your top coat, let a droplet form on the end, place it at the nail bed, and then carefully pull it down. Like I said, don't let any of the bristles touch the brush. Just put a blob at the nail plate and drag it down. Do that over the whole nail, like so. And that's it, you're done. No streaks or minimal streaks, and you'll be so pleased with it that you've just created, you know, the perfect manicure. You're done. You know, I'm sure that some people are going to watch this and think, you know, we're mad to go through all of this drama to paint our nails. But, you know, once you've mastered all these nail hacks, it really is so much fun to create awesome manicures using the advanced nail stamping technique. I really hope that all these hacks are really helpful to you, you know, and really do cut out all the time that I lost when I was learning to do it. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you like it. Can't wait to see you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.